The beauty of these images resides precisely in that mankind does not intervene at all in this essential process. We are simply recording the image of a river in its privacy. The mechanics of life in this humid jungle is well oiled. It functions perfectly. The jungle is very well made, renovating the design of its basin each year to give everyone an equal opportunity. Sand, dead leaves, and trees. Millions of trees are swallowed by the live waters of the Amazon rivers during each flood, so that everything else can be possible. The logs wander like unsteered ships, but with a destiny previously marked by the water cycles. Rot to feed. The river becomes a predator. It feeds on the ripe corpses that derive from the jungle in order to fabricate a new jungle. These turbulent waters also drag young soil, Andean soil, that provides the earthy color and the mineral wealth that the grove soil lacks. The waters, aside from traveling their course, go chaotic each year, inundating and fertilizing 12 million hectares of lowlands. And the true miracle occurs with this passing, unlike any other place on Earth. Brazil owns the largest extension of tropical jungle in the world. 30% of these forests survive within its frontiers. The Brazilian Amazonia extends over a distance equivalent to 1/2 of Europe. Countries such as France, Germany, Italy, and Spain all fit inside its contours. A green and enormous laboratory of over 5 million square kilometers, which occupies 60% of Brazilian territory. An inferno in which it is not difficult to get lost. This is what happened to a plane that was covering the distance between the cities of Santarém and Boa Vista in 1989. The expert pilot Francisco Vasconcelos de Oliveira saved his life and that of his passengers in the impact. Afterwards, they were forced to wander, eating raw animals during 3 months in the Green Inferno, until they were accidentally found on the verge of a sure death.
I lost nearly 20 kilos while I was there. The other people did also. We were all very weak, on the verge of death. It was fundamental, almost providential, divine providence, finding those people there on the riverbank. The people that found us, they were afraid of getting close because we were all bearded, and they thought that we could be escaped prisoners that had suffered an attack by the Indians or something like that, not trustworthy. They only got close after some of us screamed, "Airplane!" We're the survivors of the plane crash.
The jungle in which Francisco was lost is a green trap in which the Brazilian government admits the loss of a large number of planes over the last few years. A woodland inferno of gigantic proportions that it would be best not to underestimate. But pretty, very pretty. There are at least 3,000 different types of trees classified, that with their tops not only provide beauty and shade, but also 90% of the calcium that the Amazonia needs to maintain its skeleton intact. Big trees and little trees, florid or scant, a vegetable kingdom to one's fill. Exactly 500 billion square meters of old wood that we had no idea as to how old it was until in 1999, Jeff Chambers, an American botanist living in Brazil, using carbon-14, discovered that a macaco chestnut was 1,400 years old, thus demonstrating that many of the trees we still see standing already existed before Columbus and the Portuguese arrived to these tropical jungles.
This tree has a diameter of more or less 1 meter 20. A long time ago, I had already discovered another one that had more or less the same size and was 1,000 years old. This is the part that interests us, the center of the tree.
Jeff is one of the men of science who we will meet in this series. His novel work helps us to better understand the antiquity of this unique ecosystem.
We can see the first ring here, right in the center. The carbon that is here marks the oldest part of the tree. All this carbon was created when the tree was very, very small, when it was only a young tree. Only 4 milligrams are needed to make the carbon-14 test. That's really enough to find out how old it is. Just this small part, exactly the part from the center. This tree here is probably between 700 and 1,200 years old.
For this being, modern science still has no name, another eccentricity of the Amazon jungle, accommodating thousands of anonymous children without discovering or describing itself for science. 2 million animal and plant species, determined in making of this corner of the world the liveliest and most extraordinary art gallery. Only 30% of the live beings in the Amazon are classified and cataloged. But the beauty of it all is knowing that there are still more that are hidden from our sight, from the cages and magnifying glasses of Western science. Every small leaf has its heart in these jungles. They all mark the same pace, and its waters have eyes, prehistoric eyes that look so as not to be seen. What countless beauties the white man is missing out on by turning his back on the Amazonia. For the natives, this caterpillar with the aspect of a trinket is a behit. Scientific entomology is unfamiliar with the genus to which it belongs. It looks like it's made of silicone. The coati, as does the rest of his neighbors, lives in the shade, eating termites and at peace. As insignificant as they may seem to us, even when we find some of these living creatures repulsive and think that they can be done without, we should not forget that they all serve a function, and all they need now is our awareness to continue existing.